Doing a bike ride today instead of a walk. It's so quiet out here, you can hear a pin drop, which I don't mind at all. And it's funny because growing up and being having this Asperger's syndrome is that it's very much like being on an island. So you look at all the stuff I've created. Songs about isolation, living on an island of girls, on and on and on. It starts to make sense.
How we played among the ruins and died.
Favorite movies? Movies that meant something to me? Stuff like the Omega Man, Last Man on Earth, Creation of the Humanoids, where a couple of people are the last humans left. Robinson Crusoe, U.S. Navy, Man Alone on an Island, Island of Girls, that's probably where that song came from. Island of Girls. It's odd to think about what's happening right now, and it's obviously a shame that people are going to die from this. But perhaps something will be learned as well. Realize that people have choice and flexibility about their future. And they're predicting that there's going to be a huge economic downturn, or recession, depression, whatever. And oh, here comes Charlton Heston. And you know, the analogy I would use is that considering how much wealth you got at the top, the 1%, and we're all down here getting exploited like crazy. So in a sense, it's like a vampire and the host. So the vampire can basically suck on us, exploit us, until the point where they have to stop because we're gonna die. So got to back off a little bit, pull the fangs out, let them recover a little bit so we can start exploiting them and sucking on them again. And people take so much stuff for granted in their lives. It's like, oh, this is the way things are, you know, as if nothing else is possible, which to me, from a perspective of pure imagination, it's basically there's nothing but possibilities. That's where I work all the time. That's where I am all the time, possibilities. So another thing I wanted to talk about was social media, because there's been I get attacked. It's like the truth is that social media is not social. There's no socialization to it. It's basically passing notes under a prison door. So as soon as you subscribe to social media, I mean, we've all seen pictures of people who are in a public place and are on their phones all the time. Well, you got real people right there, that's socializing, but no, you're not interested in that because you're basically addicted to this fake socialization thing, which is, of course, social media. And so anyway, when I let loose on someone and they're like, I would never do that to anyone face to face. And of course, the criticisms I get, no one would ever do that to my face. No one would come up to me at a comic convention or anywhere else and say the kind of things that they say online. But online, they figure it's safe. And in a way it is. But partly my reason for the responses that I've made, part of it is just simply defending my position that I'm right and they're wrong, which I've gone into that in depth before. But the other part is It's like anything I can do to ruin your social media experience, then I'll do that. Because you may not realize it now, but I'm doing you a favor. So, when it comes to Facebook, for example, which is the worst example that I know of, there are cops there. I'm getting a little worried about that. I'll get pulled over. So anyway, social media, my purpose in being there is only to promote myself, to run my business, to make money. I'm not there to make, slip notes under the prison door like, oh, I'm your friend. I'm your friend. I have almost 5,000 friends. So anyway, I hope this is a bit of a helpful explanation for some things going on. And as I said, I basically think we would be a whole hell of a lot better off without this fake social media crap. And it's just basically an addiction. It's a reason to be on the screen, have the screen in front of your face. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. And here again, it's like, well, you got the screen in front of your face, Hoffman, you got the phone out. It's like, yeah, I got a reason for doing this. Got a reason for doing this. And like I said, I don't use social media for anything social. There's no pictures of my family, what I had to eat, nothing. So anyway, it might sound cold and harsh, but the truth of it is that I would be happy to see the collapse of our civilization, or at least 9/10 of it, because it's toxic. It's not to say people aren't learning stuff, but it's like, are they learning fast enough? Not sure what the percentile is for the number of species on Earth that are gone for good. I've heard it's as high as half. Which should be of serious concern. But people are more concerned about their pet. Oh, I love my dog, I love my cat so much. And it's like obsessing on these animals because human relationships are too difficult. So maybe you can learn something from the animal, maybe you can't. But if you're just relying on the animal for your emotional needs, then it seems like a dead end to me. I see all the animals dead by the side of the road, possums, squirrels, turtles, snakes. None of them get a funeral. No, they don't get a fucking funeral. We're capable of so much more than this. Right here, this rail yard, this is the setting I used for Minister Sinister. Not a soul in sight. So the wheel is an extension of the leg. So the more you use the wheel, the more the leg weakens and atrophies. So can you imagine if there were no cars and things were closer and people walked everywhere, rode bikes, things like that? What would the health situation be like in America? It'd be a whole hell of a lot better. One of the number one problems is people don't use their legs, they sit on their butts, they don't get exercise. So much of our culture is simply designed to deliver comfort. That's what electricity is all about. It makes life more comfortable. That was one of the selling points back 1940s, 1950s. Makes life more comfortable. Well, when you get too comfortable, You're basically, you know, in a hospital bed. Interesting, horseshoe crabs. The horseshoe crab's glowing blue blood is critical to the survival of mankind. How did these modern medical wonders survive the dinosaurs, ice ages, and evolution? That's a good question.